Hi guys. Hello. Hi everyone. So I realized a couple of you were asking me last time I was streaming why the quality of my basically like why the quality of my video was so bad. That is because I was using my old lens, which is a Rokinon lens. Um and it's not like it doesn't focus it doesn't like focus light automatically. It doesn't like regulate light automatically, and it doesn't focus automatically. And the light setup here is not the same as like it used to be, obviously, in my New York apartment, where I had all these lights professionally done for me by a friend who works in the lighting industry. And so it was just not having a good time because it's an old school lens, and it's also adapted to my camera. And I was trying to use it because I really liked what it looked like in my New York apartment. And then turns out it's just not doing a very good job unless things are done for it beforehand. So I switched to my normal lens, and here we are. It looks normal again. So yeah. Hi Grumpy. Hi everyone. Hi QR. Hi James. Hi Diane. Hi Kristen. Hi Karen. Hi Grumpy. Hi Taz. Hi Mark. Hi Marino. Hi John. Hi Juju. And hi Archer. Good to see you. So, how many of you guys watch boxing? Hi Morgana Cat. We're gonna have like a little bit of a, it's Ukraine related, I promise. But at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is a huge boxing match today, and it's between Tyson Fury and, hi Don, Heroyam Slava. It's between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, which are both absolute boxing champs in heavyweight. You might not know this about me, but my dad is obsessed with boxing, and I watch boxing since I was like a little kid. Because growing up, we had one tiny little TV in the kitchen. We never had one in the family room. There was one TV in my parents' bedroom. It was like very old and outdated, but my mom would watch it, and she would never let my dad like watch what it is that he wanted when she was watching it. So there was also a TV in my room. So obviously, when it came to my dad wanting to watch something, he would just come into my bedroom, literally turn off whatever it is that I was watching, and put on boxing when it was like a big match. So I grew up watching boxing matches with him. And I actually really enjoy boxing. I used to do kickboxing, like as an amateur, but like classes, I really like it. And I'm actually weaning back into it now that I'm working out again after fixing my knees. So I'm very excited for this match today. It is going to be they are going to be competing for 3 titles. I am like, here's the thing. I am very curious because these are 2 of like probably best heavyweight boxers today fighting each other. I was at the Madison Square Garden Arena in 2021 when Lomachenko, another Ukrainian boxer, who's a really good boxer, and it pains me so much that I have to hate him because he loves the Russian Orthodox Church and has very strange ideas of Russia's genocide on Ukraine. But he's a phenomenal boxer, and I watched him versus Comey, and Lomachenko won, and it was a very, very interesting fight. And I think that Lomachenko is very, very cool in terms of like strategy, and his boxing matches are very, very interesting to watch because he doesn't necessarily like take you by weight and by just like uh, slamming his fists into you. He's very strategic. So I really like him, but I don't necessarily like love Alexander Usyk because he's a heavyweight boxer, and he's a very typical heavyweight boxer. Like, I wouldn't say there is a lot of strategy there. I would say there is a lot of like, taking taking you by weight, sort of like thing to his game. But But when I was watching the Loma versus Comey in 2021, both Fury and Usyk were at that fight, and at that point already, they were talking about like fighting each other. And so like they were having beef there already. And so this has been like teased for 3 years. And again, these are two of like probably best boxers in heavyweight that are currently alive or currently practicing boxing professionally. And so I'm very curious to see. And it is 3 titles, so it's supposed to be a really big match. I think like bets on this match are within the millions. So I don't know where you can watch it on if you are interested. I don't know where you can watch it in the US. I would assume that you can probably pay-per-view on like YouTube or something like that. If you're in Ukraine, you can watch it on Megago. In fact, here's a funny little story that from my existence. So I know that my dad is horrendous with technology. Like he's so bad with technology. It's not even funny. And I know that he's gonna want to watch the fight. He's currently at his girlfriend's place. We're good friends. I love her. She's fantastic, and we like often make fun of him together. And so I called them and I was like, "Hey, Dad, where are you watching the Fury versus Usyk?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll send you like the links, okay?" And he sends me some like Telegram channels that are supposed to stream it live, and I'm like, "Dad, you know that's not gonna work, right?" So he didn't prepare for this, and he's very bad with technology. So I know what's gonna happen at like about 12:50 a.m. He's going to walk into like her room and be like hey, find this for me, find this for me. So I figured I would prevent the catastrophe before it even happened. So I purchased a subscription to Megago for $5. It's basically like Netflix, Hulu, and HBO combined. And actually, Megago now streams stuff from HBO. Like they have a partnership deal. And so it's kind of like both. It's both cable TV and like Netflix, Hulu, and stuff like that. Like it's a Ukrainian version of it. And it's $5 a month for like a family plan. And I bought a family plan. So I called them and I was like, "Hey, can you please log into here for my dad to save you, the stress of having to do that 5 minutes before the match starts and he starts freaking out." So they are waiting for the fight now. And sorry for this absolutely unrelated thing in the beginning of the stream, but I figured maybe it'd be a funny story. I don't know. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that one of the biggest boxing matches of the century is happening today. Actually, it's the first one in 24 years where all 3 titles are on the line. Because both of these guys are undefeated. And yeah, if you like boxing, that's something cool to watch. Hi Praxis, hi Ozzy, hi Dominic, hi. My friend has a boxing club, one of the best in the UK. Personally, I'm not into boxing, but I do know that's the biggest boxing match in over 20 years, 24 years, yeah. And it's a really big one. I mean, Tyson Fury is really a very big deal, especially in the UK. So, so I'm sure that I'm sure that the UK, as much as Ukraine today, is going to be watching. I think the bets for this match are going to be in the millions, like tens of millions. I think someone's gonna win a lot of money and someone's gonna lose a lot of money tonight. So yeah, so it's very interesting. I'm very excited. It is in about like, so they're probably like, it says that they're going to be on the rink in like about what 35 minutes, but that's never how it happens. I would say it's probably going to be in about an hour. So yeah. Hi Y. How is it going beyond the butt kicking contest? What butt kicking contest? Also, right before I started doing this stream, I actually saw a very interesting video and I want to research it more, but it's about Julian Assange. So there is a Russian artist who had built some sort of like a chamber and he's threatening to. So Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks, a treasoner of the United States government. He spent a lot of his time hiding in various embassies. He leaked a lot of information to Russia, and he's about to be extradited back to the United States. And so some Russian artist is threatening to destroy famous works of art such as Van Gogh, such as Picasso, if Julian Assange dies in jail. So he is basically demanding that every hour someone shows proof of life of Julian Assange. And I don't know, like I'm going to see if this was on here, but it's very interesting and I want to know more about it because that's wild, genuinely. And absolutely like not okay. There is like this group of people, like there is a huge online community of people that justify Julian Assange and think that like the United States, arresting him uh, or naming him treasoner is wrong because it impedes on freedom of speech. But like, it's not freedom of speech. He was leaking government documents and he was leaking them to foreign countries and he was basically aiding Russia in a lot of it. I mean, there is a lot about Julian Assange that like isn't, like if I started talking about this case from A to Z, like we would be here for days. And maybe one of these days we can talk about it extensively, but I don't want to do that tonight. But the point is that like people think of him, like a lot of people think of him, especially like people in the cryptocurrency world and in like and in the world of like um I don't know, like the dark web, they think of him as like a martyr for truth, but he is actually just a treasoner who impeded very significantly on national security and really screwed up national security and helped Russia. And he is um and of course a Russian person over here is threatening to destroy these masterpieces for Julian Assange. That should cybersecurity professionals call him a Russian asset, and Jason over here is a cybersecurity professional. So so yeah, I mean, I guess it's better to take his word for it than mine. But yeah, he is a Russian asset and he is a treasoner. He did screw up national security. He 100% should be in jail. He 100% should be extradited, and uh, he should serve punishment for what he has done. And the people who consider him a martyr for truth and like whatever are just ridiculous, crazy conspiracy theorists who are taking who want to take the responsibility off of their who want to take responsibility off of themselves for how shitty life is for them and place it onto the government, onto the military, onto literally anyone else. Usually people like Julian Assange are people who want to blame everybody else for all of their problems and for how bad their life is and for how much they didn't do anything to achieve anything. So yeah, hi Abraxas. Hi Demon Orb. I just love that handle. Hi LJ Boone. Also because you're so not demon. 57 and only 26 likes. Smash the like button. Thank you, Reb. And hello. Hi Mark. The left loves that guy. The far left. Conspiracy theorists love him. Yes, they do. Thank you. And thank you, Mariana. So yeah. Wait, what did I miss? How does this guy think he's going to get his hands on priceless works of art? I mean, people do own them, but not going to destroy your own artwork. No, so I think he built some sort of a chamber, and I think he does have access to some of the artworks. I'm not quite sure. I think that maybe he can hack into like museum security systems and do something. Like museums very often are protected with like lasers and stuff like that. Listen, I don't know, but I guess if it's being taken seriously, then there is merit to it. Hi, Jason. Well, Jason actually probably could give us a little bit of an insight as to how someone through like computer hacking or something could destroy works of art that are preserved in museums. But I'm not sure. Private collectors put their art in his hands. That's what Jason is saying. Yeah, I needed to do more research because I had just seen the story right before jumping in live, and I wanted to share, but I don't know enough, so I would rather talk about it next time when I know more about it. Hi from Saskatchewan Oblast. Hi. Hi, former Mormon. Hi, Odin. Also, Odin, you're not dumb as a rock. Stop commenting that on my videos. Also, I don't know if you so Jason says some private collectors hang their private collections in museums for security. Um Animal says it doesn't make sense to do that with the artworks over that guy. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, cult following and the cult of personality are a really big thing. And I will say that you would think so, right? But sometimes when people do sort of join this like cult of personality, and by join the cult of personality, I mean sometimes you idealize someone so much that you will do a lot of ridiculous things for them. And it does appear to be the case with Julian Assange, especially because as I did say, like a lot of people consider him like the martyr of truth, even though he's just a Russian asset. Um, who are you talking about? I'm late to the party. Julian Assange. So there is news that broke out that there is an artist from Russia who's threatening to destroy works of art like Picasso, like Van Gogh, like Klimt, if Julian Assange dies in jail because his extradition to the United States is coming up. Thank you, Gario. Ireland and Ukraine. Hi, Meg. Also, hi, Ed. Vidma. Hi. I love that. Okay, so we should be getting into the news. Also, if you haven't seen my latest video on TikTok, I did recently upload one like a couple of hours ago after a while of not uploading videos because I had a creative writer's block. And then today I saw this guy who posted a thing basically saying he posted a picture of himself and he joined the National Guard, I suppose, because his hat says Army National Guard. And the caption to this says, how joining the army feels knowing Taiwan or Ukraine is going to get us into World War III. And your girl had a lot to say to that. So if you haven't seen that video on TikTok or on Instagram or on Twitter yet, please do. I absolutely freaking first of all, I hate victim blaming. Second of all, like there is so much wrong with this video, but just in a sarcastic, bitchy aspect of it, right? So you joined the military, and that implies that you're likely going to have to put your life on the line if need be, because that's what the military is. And you're complaining that you might need to partake in combat because there might be a major war breaking out. Yeah, what did you think the military was going to be like, bud? Yeah, it's just like he thought he did something with this video, and I mean, like it's really upsetting because there's like 150,000 likes on that video, so there are lots of people about as ignorant as he is. And I think a lot of people, and this is not like to offend anyone by any means, but I think today, because there weren't any like major wars really going on that the United States was involved in, a lot of like young guys have been joining the military because it's cool to learn how to shoot guns, and like you get to skip college and still like build a career and stuff like that, and then they might even pay for your college. And it's like, that is not a fucking reason to join the military. Like, you don't join the military because you think it's going to be cool. You're going to be working out, learning how to walk straight, and like and learning how to shoot guns. Like, this is not your like testosterone outburst thing. You join the military, and when you do, you should fully expect that you will be in combat and you will be put in situations you will be put in situations that make you uncomfortable and situations that are dangerous. And if you're not up for doing that, then you shouldn't be joining the military. Like, I think there is genuinely such a like misconception among many young people these days for joining the military, because they're just like, oh, I'm gonna be cool and wear a uniform and cool patches and like walk around with a gun and like know how to shoot it and just be like so masculine. And it's like, dude, that is not what it is. If you're joining the military for the look of it and because you don't want to go to college and you don't know what to do with your life, that is not a reason to join the military. Like, what? Also, like, if you are put in combat this is not like if you are put in a serious situation in war, in combat, you need to understand that this is not just like pew pew situation where you know how to shoot a gun and you're good. Like, no, you need to have critical thinking skills because you need to react fast to, again, heated, uncomfortable situations in order to not get yourself killed. Like, being a soldier is not just fulfilling orders. Like, when you are in these situations, you need to really know how to react fast. You need to know how to critically think. You need to know how to think on your feet. Like, otherwise, you can get yourself and other people killed. Like, it baffles me that people like this guy join the military and then go, oh, like, Ukraine and Taiwan are going to get us into World War III. And so, like, I joined the military and there might be a war. And, like, I'm going to have to go to war. Like, those bastards. First of all, Russia invaded Ukraine. And if anything happens to Taiwan, then China invades Taiwan. And did we skip the part where, like, Russia invaded Ukraine and China is being aggressive to Taiwan? So if anyone gets anyone into World War III, it's going to be Russia and China, not Ukraine and Taiwan. Stop normalizing victim blaming and start normalizing blaming the aggressor. Uh, Anyways, rant over. Hi, Juju. I joined to see the world while learning another job skill. I made a career out of it and served in combat. No regrets. Yeah, but that's like the thing, like when you do join the military, I think that you need to accept I think you need to accept, well, first thing that you need to accept is that you likely will be put in combat. And that even if you think that it's not likely, you need to like accept that that might happen. And that's the first thing that you do when you join the military is you accept that you will have to put your life on the line if need be for your country, because that's what the military calls for. And obviously the United States is never getting invaded by anyone, nor does anyone ever attack the US particularly. So it's like in the US, you don't necessarily have to think about that when you join the military because no one's going to invade you. But at the same time, like US is the driving force behind NATO, or always has been, right? So again, when you join the military, the first thing that you come to terms with, and the first thing that you need to accept is that that contract is you saying, yes, I'm willing to put my life on the line for my country when and if need be. And for people to join the military and then be like, oh, I might need to go to war, is the fuck do you think the military is, my man? Anyways, okay, so our fundraiser for the HUR unit for thermal DJI Mavic 3 Pro drones is at $4,351.53. If you would like to donate to the said fundraiser, you can do so through going to my link in bio under my profile picture on TikTok. And if you are on YouTube, I'm just waiting for Grumpy to drop the link in the comments so I can put it on the screen for you conveniently here. One sec. There is a little troll, or troll, as I like to call them in YouTube, Friedrich Schranz. Who attacked the people of Donbass first? First of all, Donbass is spelled with one S. Second of all, second of all is not a thing. Second, Russia attacked the people of Donbass first. And you would know that if you got your head out of your ass and stopped reading Russian propaganda. Or also maybe if you got like a better career and instead of writing garbage on the internet for a couple of bucks, you could also, know that, but that's not what your job is. You're not suited for a job better than writing stupid comments on the internet. So I guess that's what you get. Oh, thank you, Christine, for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. Subscribing, you guys, these subscriptions to my channel on YouTube and subscriptions to my live feature on TikTok really do help. So if you have the ability to do so, I really do thank you for that, and ask you to subscribe if you can, because that does go a very long way. Okay, so as I said, our fundraiser for thermal DJI Mavic 3 Pro drone for an HUR unit is at $4,351.53. And if you would like to contribute, you can do so through these links over here. There is also Revolut. It's the same as Venmo, and you can go to my link in bio on TikTok and find the PayPal and Venmo there as well. In the meanwhile, we are going to start on the news. 1 second. Let me just get to where it starts. Oh my gosh. Oh, Vovchansk is so bad, and Chasiv Yar is so bad too. Okay, so we're gonna watch a very interesting video, and oh, wait. We're going to watch a very interesting video to start, and that video is going to be about a radio wave system for jamming and neutralizing drones called the Radio Frequency Directed Energy Weapon that the UK Ministry of Defense developed. So give me 1 second. I'm going to download that video, and I'm going to play it for you on YouTube and TikTok, but give me 1 second. Also, oh wow, there are trolls on TikTok, there are trolls on YouTube, there are trolls everywhere. I love trolls. See, they think that they come here and they piss me off, and this is like they're doing their job right. For me, the more trolls, the better of a job I'm doing, because I'm on their radar and I'm pissing them off. So, yeah, you're very welcome here. Babies, please do come here. Do say your stupid stuff and do say your piece, because that doesn't do anything other than show me that what I'm doing is going on swimmingly, because you choose to interact with it. So yeah.
It's critical that, given the developments in the world, that we accelerate technology out of the lab into military capability, and we do that quickly, and we do it effectively, and we get new capabilities to our frontline users, such that we can start changing that balance of operational advantage. So this radio frequency directed energy weapon works by coupling high energy radio waves to a target and disrupting and destroying the electronics in that target. Essentially, what Hollywood has been showing us for a few years, we're trying to turn that into reality, take from science fiction and turn it into a useful military capability.
So this is a game changer program, and it has meant we link together defense equipment and support along with the DSTL, who work in the science and technology space, in order to really catapult things out of the lab and into the hands of the armed forces much more rapidly.
Benefits of radio frequency directed energy weapons are that the effect they have on electronics is almost instantaneous. It is sub-second response time of a target that you engage.
RFG is game-changing in the sense of that cost effectiveness. In terms of actually generating a shot, we're talking less than 10 feet per shot. We're really trying to impress from this demonstrator is looking at the ability to take out single drones, but also deal with swarms.
It's been incredibly intense. It's been very exciting. It's been really difficult, and it continues to be very hard work. And we are right up there, amongst the world leaders in this technology. And this is an opportunity, I think, for us to kind of maintain and cement that position. So it's incredibly exciting.
So yeah, I'm really hoping that the UK is going to, so one of the cool things about these inventions is that before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, right, we couldn't even dream of the UK or any other countries like passing us their modern, coolest inventions and their newest inventions because, it's a test product and it's very new and it's expensive. And, the militaries didn't get to test it themselves. But because for this new military technology and new military gear, Ukraine is the best like testing ground because you can test it in real conditions, not in pretend conditions. I am fairly certain that the UK is going to pass it on to us because they can see how the product works, they can see how to improve it, they can see what to do with it to make it better in real life conditions. So it's really cool. I really hope that they will send it to us because jamming and neutralizing drones is something that Ukraine really needs. We talked about it last time where I was saying that, the United States really needs to think about drone production at home, something that would be emulating Shaheds or something that would be a similar, like, sort of competitor to Shaheds, because Ukraine could never have the same range of production as Russia does, but Russia could never have the same capability for production as the US does if the US started producing them. Also, Rheinmetall could in Germany, because as they said recently, is they don't have a lot of orders, so they're sort of they're working at half capacity. So yeah, this would be a very cool prospect, and I'm really hoping that this will happen. Also, hi Pietro, hi Salt of the Red Earth, hi XOXO, hi Archer, hi hi Marino, hi Cheryl, hi Dr. Tuso. Interesting, that's cool. Did I miss anyone? Oh, hi Alexander and Diane. I think I said hello, and also hi Vilma. And thank you, Mark, and thank you, Ozzy, for gifting memberships to YouTube. I really, 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 really appreciate that. And so does everyone who gets a free membership. So thank you very much. Lithuania to hand over 6 Amber 1800 radars to Ukraine, German Defense Ministry noted. The Amber 1800 can detect targets at distances of up to 400 kilometers, optionally up to 500, at different altitudes depending on the power. The purchase will be made as part of a German initiative to strengthen Ukraine's air defense. And I say this all the time, and I will never stop repeating it. We really, really need everything we can get in terms of air defense, because when you look at Odessa, when you look at Kharkiv, when you look at Zaporizhia, when you look at Mykolaiv, when you look at cities out east, they're really, really struggling. And of course, in cities like Kharkiv that are 30 kilometers from the Russian border, there is not much you can do for air defense. But at the same time, you can, because with better batteries, better air defense batteries, they can destroy target. They have a chance, because right now Kharkiv doesn't have a chance because it's so close to the Russian border that, for instance, in Kyiv, before anything ever hits or before anything ever even enters Kyiv airspace, like, we have plenty of notice to know that we need to go to shelter, right? Like, if it's ballistics, I mean, we have like 5 minutes or something, right? If it's cruise missiles or Shaheds or anything, we really find out like hours beforehand, because first, the planes take off, the Shaheds take off, and it takes a while for them to get here. So we have plenty of notice, and Kyiv air defense is really good. So I would say that normally when it's Shaheds or when it's something like that, we don't necessarily, which is not right, but you kind of adapt to your circumstances, and we don't necessarily go to bomb shelters anymore when it's Shaheds, because we know that more likely than not, they are going to be taken down before they can even reach like central areas of Kyiv. But if it's ballistics or cruise missiles, yeah, we go down to bomb shelters, because debris from these things, they're very large and they ruin a lot, and they cause a lot of casualties and fatalities. They obviously don't cause as much destruction as if they weren't taken down, but we have notice. In Kharkiv, something hits and then you get to go to the shelter, because the air alert usually rings after something had hit, because there's just simply not enough notice. Or if you're lucky and you get notice, you have under a minute to get to a bomb shelter. And if Kharkiv had like Patriots or Iris T's or like better air defense, more capable air defense, more air defense, then they would at least have a chance to take them down, and take them down like as it just crosses the border, not over the city. Russian offensive in Chasiv Yar looks like this. That's Chasiv Yar from aerial view, and that is horrendous. Also, yeah, guys, there are 120 of you currently on the live, and there are about 53 likes to this live. So if you don't mind, if you could click that that like button, that really helps show the live to more people. So if that's no trouble to you, I would ask you to please do that, because it's important and it shows the news to more people. So Chasiv Yar currently and Vovchansk are some of the hottest areas of the front line. Vovchansk is in Kharkiv region. It's been evacuated for the past week or so because Russia has been bombing it incessantly. Chasiv Yar is also where the Russian offensive is taking place. It's been one of the hottest points of the front line for a while now. Actually, like there are like there are like dark humor jokes that have been made. There are dark humor jokes that have been made. Sorry, my mic was unplugged for a second. I don't know why. There are there are dark humor jokes that Ukrainians have been making about Chasiv Yar, right? Like, so recently we have our government came out with this new system of like military registration online. Basically, it's like you download this app, and this app basically tells you where you are in terms of your documents, whether you are being sought out by military enlistment offices because you haven't submitted your information, or whether you are just, they have everything they need and you're in the clear. It'll tell you when you're getting drafted and stuff like that. So it's a new online system to streamline mobilization, basically. And so, because so many men have downloaded it today, there have been lots of glitches in it because obviously the servers are overwhelmed. So it's been like these like lots of jokes about this program have been like making rounds on Twitter. Also, like obviously, men abroad can see where they are in terms of like Ukrainian citizens who are abroad can also see like where they are in terms of like enlistment and stuff like that. And so, or draft or mobilization. And so everyone started downloading it and trying to figure out what's going on, like whether they're being sought after, whether like everything's okay, whether their documents are in order. And so it was crashing, and it would be showing this like screen that was saying, oops, like there has been a mistake, reload or something, or oops, something unexpected has happened. And so men have been like sort of making these like Twitter memes where this screenshot of this of this error screen would be like running around Twitter, and it'd be saying, oops, something unexpected has happened, you're going to Chasiv Yar, because it's obviously like somewhere where like you don't want to be mobilized to, because it's a very, very, very hot like part of the front line. Thank you, Gina. Also, we got a donation to the fundraiser in the amount of $30, which brings us to $4,381.53. So, yes. And also, when you, so you guys, when you send a super sticker or something on YouTube, could you please let me know if it's for the fundraiser or if you're sending it to me to support my work? Because I never know, and I've realized that in the past probably 2 to 3 months, every single donation that has come through, whether it's been through YouTube or whether it's been through PayPal or something, like sometimes it now says gift because I've been counting everything that I receive into fundraisers, because that's just what I automatically assume. I assume it's not for me. I assume it's for the fundraiser. So on the off chance that it is for me, could you please like specify that so I know what to do with it? Because someone had told me recently and they were like, wait, you count this into fundraisers because these particular things are for you. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. Also, Dr. Tuso, thank you so much for becoming a member on YouTube. I really appreciate that, and that does go a long way. Okay, the Russian S-60 gun was destroyed by Ukrainian border guards in the Zaporizhia direction. Despite the occupiers' attempts to reliably camouflage the anti-aircraft artillery complex, Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance detected it. Soldiers of the DPSU, along with comrades from other defense forces units, successfully turned the weapon into a pile of scrap. And thank you, Phil. Thank you, Gina. And also, that reminds me. So, I told you guys that I have a classmate who is at the front, and there has been this like fundraiser going on for EW electronic warfare equipment for him, and it's been going donation for the fundraiser. Cool. So plus $20 to the fundraiser, which is $4,401.53. Thank you, Phil. And that also gets you an entry into the raffle for the Russia is a Terrorist State sweatshirt, which, if you guys didn't know, every donation of $20 and every $20 buys you a ticket into the raffle for a Russia is a terrorist state sweatshirt in a size large. You can look it up in my community tab. It's an amazing sweatshirt. Actually, you know what? Let me show it to you again because I haven't in a while, but it's a really cool sweatshirt from a Ukrainian brand. It's not like one of those Amazon, so the reason why I say that is not to disparage like dropship things, but because I think a lot of people assume that it's just like a sweatshirt that someone put like letters on, but no, it's from a Ukrainian brand. They make sweatshirts, so they manufacture them in house. It's like their design of a sweatshirt. It's very, very like well made. It's an expensive piece of clothing. It's like really, really nice, and it's limited edition. And I like snatched the last one of them, and it's a really like it's nice. It's not something that you could just like get like off the internet and like it's gonna be like one of those like drop shippy things. Like no, it's like their own design. They made the how are these things called when you design a piece of clothing, like when you like when you draw it and then you do like the fabric things. So like that's, yeah, it's their own. So give me 1 second, I'll show it to you because I haven't in a long time. And so it comes in this like really cool, it's packaged. Ow, it's packaged very nicely. Let me show you. This is a very nice sweatshirt. I personally love it. 1 second. I have one of these. There was a small, a medium, and a large, and they were the last one. So this one is Russia's a terrorist state. And just to show you how nicely made this is, like, see the letters on here? They're like, they have, like, this is like a plasticky, rubbery material. It's not printed on here. Like, it has texture to it. It's kind of like it has it's raised, so it's not just like, it's not just yeah. Also, when someone says the thing is huge, you guys remember that I'm 5'2". I'm a small person. So like, yes, it is quite huge. It is it's oversized, but it is like not, it's nice. I think like a size large, a size extra large would probably fit in it, and also like an XXL, but that might be tight. So it has these like wow, I'm really forgetting English when it comes to things that I don't have to use in everyday language. So, and that sucks. I really don't want that happening. But so like they have these like straps that make it tighter over here so you can like tighten your sweatshirt. And oh, okay, I will look it up in a second. Thank you so much, QR. And so this is drawstrings. Thank you, Joe. Oh my God, I swear, like I really don't want to be forgetting basic things in English. You're doing fine because I don't draw strings. You guys draw strings, but yeah. So every donation of $20 and above gives you a ticket for the raffle for this sweatshirt, and it's open worldwide. I commented in your Insta post the TikTok username of that screenshot. Of which screenshot? Also, I thought I saw a notification, but maybe I did not. And let me check Revolut. Thank you for letting me know, because I check Revolut after lives, not usually real time, because not that many people use it. Oh my God. Richard, thank you. So there is $100 for the fundraiser from Richard, which is also 5 tickets. And that brings us to $4,501.53. So thank you so much. Actually, it's €100. So that is $109. So let me add let me add let me add a $9 thing, which is $4,510.53, and we're officially just $1,000 away. Not just $1,000 away, but looking back, we are at the final stretch. And thank you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining Dr. Tuso or gifting 10 memberships. Wow. And thank you, Blonde Bombsheller, for becoming a new member. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so very much. Oh my God. So Russia attacked 2 energy facilities with drones. In the last 24 hours, Ukrenergo reported that energy infrastructure facilities in the eastern and central regions were targeted. The Poltava Regional Military Administration clarified that Russian drones damaged the energy infrastructure in one of the districts of the Poltava region. So this is actually something very interesting, because we are supposed to be getting electricity outages, rolling blackouts basically, and a lot of people in Kyiv apparently have been experiencing those. I haven't yet, but so in Kyiv Digital, which is this app. So if you are a foreigner and you live in Kyiv and you don't know this yet, I'm going to put you onto this. There is an app called Kyiv Digital, and it basically is like a one-stop shop for everything Kyiv. Like, you can pay parking tickets, you get air raids through there, you see where the bomb shelters are, you can pay for the subway. It's like a really, really great citizen app where you can do everything digitally. And so now there is also a schedule of electricity turnoffs. And so I have any luck with your power bank, Yulia? So they did send me a message that it should be shipping on Monday finally, and I'm like, I cannot be I cannot be any happier than that. But I also don't want to. I don't want to like be like, oh yeah, it's shipping on Monday, because I'm gonna say that and then it's not going to. But I haven't yet experienced blackouts. So you can in this app, you can put in your address, and it'll tell you basically where what times like your particular building is scheduled to have electricity turnoffs, because it just like basically goes off your address if you put it in. And this is what it looks like. So these are, oh my gosh, oh wow, this is very bright for, oh, wrong. Okay, it didn't make it any better. Okay, but well, maybe a little bit better. So this is what it looks like. It supposedly, so today is Friday. No, not Friday. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? So on Sunday, I'm supposed to not have electricity from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., then from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then from 9 to 11 p.m. But so far, this hasn't been a thing, and it's not always going to be accurate, as in like rolling blackouts are not always going to happen, especially I think in Kyiv. Lviv has been experiencing lots of rolling blackouts because Russia has been targeting that the three electrical facilities, and Russia has ruined a lot of gas and electric infrastructure near Lviv. So Lviv has been getting it pretty bad. Thank you, Vanda. Thank you so much. Australia imposes new sanctions on Russia for receiving missiles from North Korea. Australian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Australia, in coordination with its international partners, is imposing targeted financial sanctions on 6 more organizations associated with North Korea's supply of weapons and related equipment to Russia. According to Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong, deepening cooperation between North Korea and Russia will have serious consequences for the security of Europe, the Korean Peninsula, and the entire Indo Pacific region. And she's right, of course. There is also an interview with CNN on CNN with Defense Minister of Ukraine Rustem Umerov, where he talks about operational situations on the battlefield, in particular the Russian attempt to open a second front in the Kharkiv region and how the Ukrainian army is resisting it. He also outlined his vision of Putin's plans for the near future and told whether the defense lines near Kharkiv are sufficient. It's a 9-minute video. I am going to show it to you. I don't know if we're going to watch the entirety of it, but if you guys want to, we of course can. And give me 1 second. I'll upload it and I'll put it on the screen because I do think it's his first like major interview with a Western outlet, and of course it's important to hear from the Minister of Defense during such heated times for the Ukrainian front line, and I do think it's important. And then we're going to get into discussion about Vovchansk and what's been happening there and the evacuations of people from there, because Vovchansk it's been practically ruined, like a lot of Ukrainian cities have when Russia decides to just wipe them off the face of the planet, and that's what's been happening to Vovchansk most recently. Okay. Personal accelerator for chat does not work for name at VA. Why not? I don't know what that means. So you guys, I'm very bad at these types of things. And if you have suggestions for this channel on what you would like to see here, please do let me know. And my mods and I are going to try to fix.
Zelensky has been on those front lines, addressing the situation, as I said, along with his defense minister, Rustem Umerov. And we have managed to reach him in that area. Defense Minister Umerov, do you hear me? And can I ask you to give your perspective on the state of the front lines around Kharkiv?
Hi, Christian. We, in the morning, had a meeting with the president in Kharkiv. The situation is hard, but it is under control. We're stabilizing the situation, but still we need more weapons to be assisted with.
And when you say stabilizing the situation, you know, we hear that there are voluntary evacuations. I want to know whether you are now trying to evacuate people or officially pull back certain troops to more manageable and defensible front lines. What is the military situation right now around the Kharkiv area?
So I would like to explain to the viewers that Kharkiv city has a Kharkiv region as well. So the Russians are shelling to the civilians, to the cities that are close to the state border. That's where our administration is evacuating people so that they are not going to be under the Russian shellings. But the city of Kharkiv we are fighting near the border. So they are crossing the border. The invasion, the second front started. So that's why we are repelling them. And that's why we want to save more lives of people. That's why we evacuate them to the city.
And are you actually repelling them? I mean, I know you want to put on a brave face, but you have had 7 months of delay in the weapons that you need. There has been a breach of the front line, obviously around Avdiivka, as we saw, and other areas. And they're trying, as we're told by your forces, the Russians, to take advantage of this moment. Are you actually repelling them now?
Well, Crispin, we are in 10 years of fight and 2 years of full-scale invasion. So, of course, we are standing as much as we can. And the weapons are being brought with a delay. And the Russians are taking advantage of it. So all the approvals came 6 months later. So they want to take advantage. And that's why they want to they started second front not to allow us for these weapons to arrive. But nevertheless, as I said, we're trying to stay on the ground, repel the attacks. They're using the fighter jets. They're using the tanks. We are also trying to evacuate from the the civilians that they're shelling only from the border cities. So we are on the ground, and as I said in the morning, along with President,
Hi,
along
Tony.
with the Chief of Defense, we were in the operational zone, and I'm still in the operational zone.
Because the president said, and many of your, major military leaders are saying that, it is critical, and you're in the operational zone, as you've just said. You said you need weapons. Can you tell me, actually, whether these delayed U.S. weapons, whether the ammunition, whether the artillery is actually on the front where you need it now?
Of course, we need to defend. We need air defense, and we're trying to defend the population. But we need the air defense to for the critical national infrastructure. We need to protect the also front lines, the brigades, and it's not enough. So we need more artillery. We need more armed vehicles, infantry vehicles. So that's what we need at the moment.
And we're just going to ask you one more time. Has any of the American aid reached the soldiers and the lines that need it the most right now?
It's constantly reaching.
Okay.
All the aid is coming, but we need it on time and in the big amounts. That's what's the problem. Most of the
Good night,
commitments are arriving later than what we expect, and we need weapons on time to repel the attacks.
What do you think Putin's aim is for the next weeks and months? We've heard, obviously, that he wants to create this pressure on Kharkiv. We've heard that the aim is to take all of Donbass. What do you think? What are you prepared for?
As his objective never changed. He doesn't want the Ukrainian independent sovereign country to be existing. He doesn't want Ukrainians as ethnicity to be living in Europe, being a part of NATO. So he doesn't change any plan. He wants to open a second front. He is taking advantage that there is a delay of the weapons arriving to Ukraine. That's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. And you obviously have less people, less manpower than Russia does. There is talk about a much wider mobilization, conscription. You've already lowered the age of conscription. It is very tough, I know, politically inside Ukraine. Are you getting more manpower? You have exhausted troops who've been there, many of them, for 2 years.
Christian, we passed the law on mobilization, and by 18th of May, it will be in act. So it means that we're working to bring more people to the front. We are also opening the recruitment centers. We are making trainings for them, and that's a war that we need to win on our ground. That's why we need more people. Of course, what we do is that we set the rules for the mobilization. We gave them best training we can have, and that's why we need to shut down the holes in a new front. That's why we are having a mobilization.
Mm-hmm. Minister Umerov, you know that some 18 months ago, September 2022, your forces, heroically took back Kharkiv and the areas around it after the Russians pushed very, very determinedly towards it in the early days and weeks of the invasion. We're in a completely different situation now. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it is? And can you reverse what Russia has reversed in these 18 months?
Look, they're taking advantage of the trauma we have in the West, thinking that Ukraine is not able or not capable. We are able, we're capable, we have a plan. Our strategic goal is to reach 1991 borders. Our military goals are known to the military, and we're trying to protect people. We're trying to repel the attack and resist. So are they taking advantage that arms does not arrive on time? Yes. Are they taking advantage that financing is not being coming on time? Yes, they are. But it's our land, and we have to protect it.
And I guess one last question. As I said, it's been reported and we've seen the evidence of a breach, at least one major breach that allowed the Russians to move into where they are now. Are you confident that you have the forces and the defensive lines in place, that there aren't other breaches along your very, very long front line?
We've been starting building the fortifications, defense lines, like all kinds of fortifications, integrated defense lines 8 months ago. So we reached necessary level of these defense lines that allows us to repel the attacks. But because we need more arms, we need more weapons, missiles, air defenses, artillery. That's what is the problem at the moment. So we brought more people, but we need more arms now.
Well, I hope your message is getting through. Rustem Umerov, Ukrainian Defense Minister, thank you very much for being with us.
Okay, we're actually going to watch one more clip that I'm going to send to myself. Also, we just got a donation of $10. Thank you so much. Let me see who it was. Thank you, Christine. No, wait, that Christine was before that, and thank you, Ronnie. Sorry. So that brings us to $4,520.53. And let me send the clip to myself because I already downloaded it. I just need to send it. And it's about Vovchansk. It's going to be kind of hard to watch. It's not gory, but it's very intense emotionally because it's about evacuations from Vovchansk and people who... A lot of people have lived there their whole lives and they have had to so the thing about Vovchansk, right, is something that no one's talking about is that it's the second time that they need to evacuate. A lot of people have evacuated in the beginning of the full-scale invasion and they have lived elsewhere and then they came back because it's their home. And it's the second time that they're evacuating because they have been under Russian oppression. They have been under Russian occupation. They don't want to relive it again. So it's the second time that these people are leaving their homes, hoping that they will not have to live through this again.
Я просила, щоб її нікому не віддали. Я знала, що я її заберу. Нікому я тебе тепер не віддам. Все. Спокійний син приніс отакенькою, маленькою. Я її викармлювала з соски. Вона з самого, считай, рождення зі мною. Що в мене є, а в неї я, а в мене вона.
So yeah, I mean, this one is an inspiring story, right? Because she had to leave her dog at the shelter and then they got reunited and she was able to bring the dog with her because obviously sometimes when you evacuate, I guess this dog doesn't get along with other dogs because they did say that there are issues with her personality. So provided that she's very, very nice to humans, I doubt that that's the problem. And so the woman probably had to find, a place where she could live with the dog, where there wouldn't be any triggers or where there wouldn't be any, anything that could potentially result in someone getting hurt. And this one is very lovely because she got to have her dog back and they got to live together again. But in a lot of these cases, people have to leave their animals behind when they don't want to because they can't find a place to live with a large to live at with a large dog. They also it's leaving everything you have behind, especially at that age, and moving somewhere is incredibly difficult. You also don't know if you will have enough money. You don't know if you will be able to support yourself, let alone yourself and an animal. It's, I often look at these and I often look at how many animals have been abandoned. And in Ukraine, particularly, it's not nearly as many as in other wars because people animals are part of our family. We don't usually leave them behind. we try to take them with us everywhere we go. But at the same time, like sometimes it happens, right? And I think to myself, I'm like, oh my God, like how could you leave your like dog? Because I think of Cindy, right? And I just like my heart breaks. But at the same time, like, we never know what these circumstances are like. And I wish for no one to ever be displaced from their home and find out what it's like to have to like drop everything and, you know, and have your life turned upside down in a matter of minutes. In the meanwhile, in some good news, in Novorossiysk, the Kirillovskaya substation is on fire. More than 20,000 city residents were left without electricity, according to Astra. Novorossiysk is in Russia, so that's good news, not bad news. Novorossiysk has one of the largest ports, and usually that's where Russians transfer their their ships to when they're scared about Ukraine targeting them in Crimea. The mayor of the city said that the cause of the fire has not been determined. Residents said they heard the sounds of drones at night. The information is being clarified. At the same time, a number of Russian public sites report that the substation was set on fire by unknown persons. But Russia is going to say that someone smoked at an inappropriate place and it was an accident. The U.S. military plans to release the first Air Force pilots retrained to fly F-16 fighter jets in May. We expect the first course to graduate this month, said a spokesman for the Arizona National Guard. Yeah, I hope that guy whose video I stitched today or whose video I responded to is not in the Arizona National Guard, because he might have a very hard time going there and speaking to Ukrainian military who are going to tell him exactly who is to blame for invading Ukraine. Ukraine's armed forces need more long-range weapons to target positions deep behind the front lines as Russia advances on the battlefield, said German Minister Annalena Baerbock. Speaking at a meeting of European foreign minister in Strasbourg, Baerbock described the military situation in northeastern Ukraine as very dramatic, highlighting reports of significant Russian advances. She emphasized the need for weapons capable of medium and long-range strikes. Her remarks are likely to increase pressure on German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to allow the transfer of long-range Taurus missiles to Ukraine. These missiles are more effective at targeting fortified bunkers and bridges than those provided by the UK and France. However, Scholz currently opposes transferring them, fearing it would deepen Germany's involvement in the war. Germany is Ukraine's second largest arms supplier after the US, but Scholz has refused to provide Taurus missiles. The US also restricts the use of its supplied weapons, warning Ukraine not to strike inside Russia. Ukrainian leaders have expressed frustration over the Allies' restrictions on using Western-provided weapons to strike across Russian borders. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba recently stated that he feels the West is asking Ukraine to fight with one hand tied behind its back. That's true, but also, so Jake Sullivan said that the U.S. is still not keen on Ukraine using Western weapons to strike behind Russia's enemy lines. But then when Anthony Blinken was in Kyiv and he was asked that question, he gave kind of like a vague response that wasn't necessarily a no. So that leads me to believe that that might be some press ploy and that this might not necessarily be true. But I'm not going to speculate on this more because that's never good for the military and that's never good for OPSEC. Kristen says, I can't stand Jake Sullivan. I understand you. If you look into Jake Sullivan's background, he's also the advisor behind Obama's response to Ukraine's invasion in 2014. He is also the advisor behind the drone strikes that Obama authorized. He's also the advisor behind a lot of really crappy decisions when it comes to military and when it comes to defense. So yeah, you know, people were saying there was like this thing where a lot of Ukrainians were openly shitting on Jake Sullivan, and there were people on the internet being really upset about it because it's like, it's not his fault. He's not the only one who decides that. Like, it's not, I don't know why people are putting all of these decisions onto Jake Sullivan, but it's like people are very, very, very uneducated about Jake Sullivan. And it's not about his single decision. Like, it's not about something that he said about Ukraine. It's not about something that he said that he did just in Ukraine. It's if you look at his career, he's horrendous. Like, he's the person responsible for a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible decisions. And I mean like terrible decisions. genuinely, like, we might, if you are interested in it, I might try to make a YouTube video about it, about how Jake Sullivan is actually responsible for some of the worst, presidential decisions when it comes to like national and foreign defense. But definitely, I wouldn't want to spend too much time on the live discussing that. Jake Sullivan does not deserve as much of our attention live. Maybe I can make a video on it if you guys are interested. The French company Denon announced the sale of its business in Russia 2.5 years into the full-scale invasion. Thank you. Aww. According to the press service, it was sold to the Vitamin R Company. This company was registered on September 25th, 2023, and its owners are the dairy products manufacturing company Vitamin Tatarstan and Ruslan Ali Sultanov. Denon had announced plans to leave the Russian market in October 2022. And what, it took them 2 years to accomplish it? Nice. Here are some more pictures. I'm like, honestly, I'm sorry that I'm not commenting on this and I'm just being very sarcastic instead of giving a little bit more background. But the thing is, like, all of these companies, yes, some of them have a hard time selling and some of them have a hard time leaving the market and some of them require time to accomplish it. But honestly, like, it does not take 2 years to accomplish that. And also you can take the hit in profits in order to not pay taxes to Russia. Like, I understand that you're trying to maximize your profit while also exiting the market, but at the same time, that is a very, 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 very selfish bureaucratic decision, because companies like Denon can take a hit. Like, they can take a hit to exit the market faster and not pay taxes, because it's not even about selling yogurts in Russia. Like, it's about paying taxes in Russia. The city of Vovchansk has been practically destroyed by relentless enemy attacks with anti-aircraft guns. However, the enemy has failed to fulfill their command's objective and has not captured the city, according to Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation. So this is what Vovchansk looks like. Aerial. These images are horrifying, honestly. Like, this city is as destroyed as Severodonetsk, as Bakhmut, as Mariupol. It's carpet bombed to the ground. And this is the city from which the people are evacuating for the second time, because before this had happened to them, they were already living under Russian occupation once. Strikes disabled 14% of Russia's oil refining capacity, according to the Pentagon. This loss led to a 20 to 30% rise in domestic prices by mid-March and prompted a halt in exports to focus on meeting domestic demand. Aw, sad. Georgian President Salome Zurabishvili promised to veto the foreign influence law. However, the ruling Georgian Dream Party has enough votes in parliament to override the veto. This law, in its essence and spirit, is a Russian law that contradicts our constitution and all European standards, making it an obstacle on our European path. This veto is fully justified legally and will be submitted to the parliament today. Zurabishvili said at a special briefing, according to the Tbilisi Live Telegram channel, 77 votes are needed to overcome the veto, and 84 deputies support the law. So obviously they will overcome the veto. If you haven't been following the events in Georgia, you really should, because it's basically Georgia is going through, and I don't want to say its version of Maidan because that diminishes the Georgian protests, but they're going through a thing similar to Maidan, where their government is incredibly pro-Russian, and they're trying to really, they want the government to, they want to impeach the government. They want to completely reform the government because their government is basically Russian assets. And this government has put this law into effect that we talked about on a live yesterday. I showed you a video from a year ago that I made when this just started happening. So if you would like to understand what this law is about in depth, there is a video on my channel, and it's in the briefs section, and it's titled something along the lines of what's going on in Georgia. So it's still current, as in, like, it still explains to you what this law is about and how all of these protests started. And to be fair, not enough people are talking about the situation in Georgia, and that's not right. People should. we should talk about it more. And because Georgian people are pro-Ukrainian, they're pro-European, they want to be in the EU, and this law basically would arrest people and throw people in jail for like sending an email to a foreign friend, or receiving like a Western Union money transaction from a foreign friend. And it's just a dictatorial, fascist law. And it really impedes on human rights and liberties in like a ridiculous way. But, when Russians say we can't do anything about our government, I want you to look at Georgia, because a lot of people, don't take Ukraine as an example anymore because they're like, it's different. Okay, so well, in Georgia, Georgian police comes to protesters' doors and they literally beat them up and they arrest them and they drag them out and they threaten them and they blackmail them and do all of that stuff. And you know what people do? People show up in even larger numbers. When someone in Georgia is being arrested by the police at a protest, more people go, and they don't let that happen. When someone is being blasted with a water gun, more people stand together. So it's like the more someone gets hurt, the more aggressive the cops become, the more people show up. In Russia, it's like someone gets hurt, everybody runs home. So yeah. Don't let them fool you. In case you missed it and wish to donate, yes, this is the fundraiser. These are the links. So this is for a thermal DJI Mavic 3 Pro drone for an HUR unit. If you would like to donate to this fundraiser, you could do so through this link, through these links. Also, Revolut is the same as Venmo. And if you're on TikTok, you can do that by going to my link in bio right under my profile picture and finding the Venmos and PayPals there. I don't know why I said that. I said Venmo. Instead of Venmo, I said Venmo, which is like a very South Carolina way of saying it. A Russian court has seized nearly 800 million euros from 3 European banks: Deutsche Bank, 239 million euros, Commerzbank, 94 million euros, and UniCredit, 463 million euros. The seizure was initiated by Gazprom's subsidiary, which had contracted the German company Linde in 2021 to design and build a gas processing plant in Ust-Luga, Leningrad region. Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank, UniCredit, and 2 other banks acted as guarantors in the deal. In 2022, both Linde and guarantor banks refused to fulfill their obligations due to EU sanctions against Russia, despite the company having transferred an advance. According to Financial Times sources, the Italian government is scheduled to meet on April 20th to discuss the confiscation of UniCredit's assets in Russia. I mean, Russia is trying to do the same thing as the rest of the civilized countries are doing with Russian assets. The difference is, Russia is under sanctions and they are in an invasion. So, and they're causing an invasion. So it makes no sense that they would be doing that, while countries doing it to Russia is justified. Also, that is all I have for you for today. We also just got another donation from audio producer for $5, which brings us to $4,550.53. Thank you so much. Hi, Andreas. Hi, Jack the Rocky. So I think that the fight between Usyk and Fury has definitely started at this point, because it's 1:33 a.m. And I would like to see what's happening there, because if you don't know why I'm curious, and if you don't know this about me, but I love boxing, and I do talk about it in the beginning of this live. So for those of you who skipped the beginning of it, I mean, it was a lot of it was about boxing. Also, oh, Ozzy, thank you for putting in the Discord link. I need to switch the Discord link in my description on YouTube, because apparently it doesn't work. And I've seen your guys' comments. I'm so sorry. I just haven't had the chance to do that yet. And yeah, it's so good to see you, Jenny. Also, okay, you guys, for those of you who are watching the fight, I might be on Discord. You know, we can just have like a chat on Discord while this is happening, because I'm sure a lot of you like boxing. And I'm gonna run, because I am actually very excited to see what's happening there, and I'm pretty sure I'm like missing some of it, or maybe it's gonna turn out that I'm gonna get there and they haven't even started yet. But yeah, What fight? It's Usyk versus Fury. It's boxing, and it's a very big one. It's a fight for 3 titles. They're both absolute champs. Okay, you guys, see you tomorrow. So good to see you. Thank you all for watching and for commenting and for engaging and for caring about Ukraine, and thank you for donating. I will see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, bye.